Hello everybody, welcome to another test here. Now, I had done a test on McAfee a few days ago, and it did pretty well in that, so I'll be doing one more review on this, and this time we'll be going into some of the more detailed settings, and we'll see how it performs. Now, first of all, in case some of you are in doubt, I'm sure a lot of you must be having a lot of doubts from that review, because a lot of people don't really believe that McAfee can do that well. I mean, they've made that impression for themselves over the years, but I was also equally surprised to see it do well. And some of you might be thinking it just got lucky. Perhaps it isn't that good. So let's do a follow-up test on that. Now, I've just opened up CleanMX, and here you can see the files we have today. You can check out the detection rates on the left here. These are the detection rates in virus total for all of these files. You can see the threat names here, and this time I'll be trying out these links so that you know exactly what we're testing against McAfee, because last time they were just links. You had no way of knowing the detection rate or anything like that. But now let's see if McAfee is really that good. Now let's start off with this one. Now I've got the beta installed. I don't think I need to show you guys. It's up to date. Okay, so this is the first file, and this is a Java exploit. I'm just going to open it, just like most users would do. And let's see what happens exactly. Here we go. I just tried to open it, and so far no response. Let's see if we've got anything running in memory. Okay, so just you can see, there you go, JS exploit Trojan quarantined from, it's given you the location. So just when it tried to do something fishy, McAfee caught it, and it was automatically quarantined and removed. And let's take a look at the detection rate. I don't think this was their signatures, because it took such a long while to get it. And look at the detection rate. Just 2 engines get this, and McAfee caught this one. So I have to say that's a great job. Let's try out the next one. Next one has a detection rate of 4 out of 42, just 9.5%, and this is an HTML redirector. And let's see what happens here. Again, it's blocked by McAfee's web blocking. So that's very impressive. To have to block a thread that has got such a low detection rate out straight from the web is an awesome job. Now this is some kind of phishing website. It's got detection rate of 1 out of 42. Let's try to open this. In fact, this isn't a thread, it's a phishing website. But there you go. Again, there you go. This one was also blocked by their web blocking, and it's been categorized as a phishing website. So I think you get the idea. This has only been caught by one engine, and most probably that is McAfee. And this is a phishing form, so a lot of antiviruses don't have pretty good phishing technology, anti-phishing technology, but McAfee, as you saw, had signatures for that one. Now this one got through. It's caught by 4 engines, but not by McAfee, and it's probably dead. It's not doing anything. So we've got 4 of the same files. Let's try one more and see what happens. Is it the same one, or... Yeah. So this one's not caught by McAfee. Let's try this one. This is a Trojan crypt. It has a respectable detection rate of 15 out of 42 engines. Let's see what happens when we try to open this. As you can see already, it's caught by their download blocking. Now, of course, in this test, I am using some changed settings. Let's go to the options and take a look at that. Basically, what I've changed is I've changed this from limited to balanced. Now, McAfee don't like too many false positives. I mean, the way they have their program set up is to minimize the number of alerts, because that's where to get their users from. Most of the McAfee users are people who don't know a lot about threats. So they don't like too many alerts, and they don't like giving you questions that whether you should allow or block, if you trust it or not. So they don't like giving you things like that. So that's why they've set it to limited to reduce false positives. But personally, I'd highly recommend, in case I would use the software, I'd certainly at least set it to balanced. Most probably I'd set it to aggressive, but I think balanced will do fine. Now that's how I'm doing this test. Now if you set it to minimal, it's only totally signature based. Only confirmed threats will be blocked. If you set it to limited, it's still going to be like confirmed threats plus cloud scans and stuff like that. But if you set it to balanced or aggressive, it's also going to block suspicious items. So that's some kind of 0-day. So I'm going to leave it in balanced for this test. Now again, another Trojan JS agent. Let's see what happens with this one. This beta is poor on performance, just like the Kaspersky beta. It's really heavy, and I don't know if their full version is going to be any lighter. McAfee's always been heavy. But there you go. This one was also blocked. Now this one had a pretty low detection rate again, 8 out of 42 engines. This most probably going to be blocked. Not much point checking out. Okay, so the download was blocked. Now this is a piece of adware. Let's see how McAfee respond to adware stuff. No major threat, but let's see how McAfee does against this. There you go, this one was also caught. You can see, and there you go, it tried to drop some file. It is a backdoor Trojan, and that was quarantined. So maybe it wasn't just adware. As you saw, tried to drop a backdoor Trojan, and it was blocked. And look at the detection rate again, 4 out of 42. I have to say this is excellent. Now let's try out this one, Trojan Delphi. Again, you can see this is going to be blocked. It's caught by their site advisor, and it's redirecting us to this page. Let's try this one. This got again a really low detection rate. Okay, so the page is dead anyway. Let's try out this one. This is some kind of infected HTML, and you can see it's blocked. And again, it tried to drop some file, and that was also caught and removed. Now this is the same kind of stuff, so I'm not trying this out. Now let's try this one. Double extension suspect, 3 out of 38. There you go. Again, this one was also blocked. I'm sure, I mean, if it's blocking so much stuff, I'm sure it's going to give a few false positives, but it's kind of like two sides of the same coin. All the security software that do really well also give quite a few false positives. Now there you can see this one was quarantined. This one was blocked again by the site advisor. And it had pretty low detection rate as well. I mean 3, 7, these are all pretty low detection rate stuff. Let's try out this one. Again, you can see this is some kind of a port scan, and it was blocked. And it also tried to drop some files, some exploit, and that was removed. You can see the system's pretty slow. That's, I think, the major complaint about this beta from my side. Other than that, I think it's doing pretty well. There you go again, this one was blocked. So this might be a pretty long test, because it's going to be kind of like the expert test, not that simple one. So hope I'm not boring you guys. You can see this one was blocked as well. So basically we've tried out just every link in this website, and this one's blocked as well. And this had a detection rate of, well, 3. Look at that. And this one's the only one that is suspicious. All of the others were confirmedly blocked. So, I mean, as you saw, I tried out every link on this page, and it's not like they're high detection rates. They're really low detection rate stuff, like 3, 6, 3, 7. I've got 4. This one's just got 1. And everything was just blocked by McAfee. So their download blocking has improved tremendously, I have to say, because when I used their last version, I can bet that it wasn't even going to get half of these. But as you see in this beta, it just caught everything. And this is when I set it to balanced. I haven't set it to aggressive, I've set it to balanced, and this is how I'd recommend most of you to set it in case you're using this. And this is turned on by default, so I didn't mess with it. And by default it's set to limited, but I seriously recommend setting it to balanced, because as you saw, it can block so much more stuff, and you saw how many sites it blocked in a balanced setting. Now let's go into the actual program here and see how it looks. Now, another popular thing about McAfee, a lot of people complain about this interface. They say it's annoying, the scroll bars. When you open this, a lot of people complain that this is annoying. Now personally, I don't think that's too annoying for anyone. You can just pretty easily get anywhere you want. You want to get real-time scanning, you just have to do one click. You can check all your settings basically, and also see the startup settings. I mean, it's not that tough to navigate, honestly. Yeah, some of the advanced users might think that it's not that great because you have to go through many clicks to see one setting. In some products, you just have big buttons. It's all much easier to navigate in some other software, but I think this isn't too bad. It may not be the best interface, but I think it's pretty good for the simple users who don't really want to bother about too many settings. You can hit navigation, you can get anywhere you want. I don't think that's too tough. But again, that's my personal opinion. And now let's check out some of the other features. I mean, what it's got for 0-day and all that stuff. Now let's take a look at their firewall. Now, if we see, this firewall's got a lot of stuff that can block port scans and stuff like that. It's a pretty decent firewall for, in my opinion. Now, the important part about this firewall is intrusion protection. Now, see. Now, this is another important setting. Now, this is disabled by default, and by default, they do not give you intrusion protection. But in case you're an advanced user like me, I'd highly recommend turn this on, and don't just set it to basic, set it to high. Look, let's see what basic does. It detects activities that are very likely to be attacks. So this is going to give an alert only when something is almost sure to be malware, like if something tries to modify the boot sector or something like that. So setting it to basic isn't going to do much. Now high, detects suspicious activities even though some of them might not be attacks. Now this is how most companies that provide intrusion prevention have it set up, and that's how most software work. I mean, if you take the example of Komodo, MCSoft, Bullguard, they just detect suspicious activities. They don't. Some of them might not be attacks, and that does happen. Because I mean, you can't have 0-day protection without asking questions and detecting suspicious activities. Because, yeah, I mean, the same activity can be done by malware and a legitimate file. Let's say, for example, something wants to remove a registry key. Now, malware might be wanting to do that to wreck your system. So how does the antivirus know about that? And let's say it gives you an alert saying that this file is trying to modify the registry, block the action. Now, the same alert is going to be given in case a product that is not whitelisted tries to do the same thing, and that is going to be done by a lot of legitimate software. Like, let's say you have an uninstaller. Now, that also needs to remove registry keys. So in case that isn't whitelisted, it is going to produce that same alert. So in case you're really concerned about security, I'd really recommend setting this to high. And that's how I'm going to set it up if I ever use it. Now, other than that, one more thing that I found out about this program is that somebody from McAfee told me that you should set up their parental controls. Now, the reason for that is it has a different set of databases rather than their site advisor. So, some of the malware sites might be flagged by the parental controls module, they may not be flagged by their site advisor. And that has happened if you take a look at my previous test. So I'd also set it up if I were you, and I'd set it up to just block malicious sites at least. So that's about the program. This time, as I said, I went through some of the more granular settings. Now let's see what they've got in real time. Again, one more setting that I always change. Now by default it doesn't scan scripts in Internet Explorer, but I'd recommend turning this on again. Now boost my protection, this is all set up by default, but from what I've seen it doesn't do too much, but there's no way of knowing, because as you saw, as I suspect, the first file that I downloaded was caught by some zero-day component, but McAfee is not set up to give you alerts that way. It's only going to give you alert if it removes something. So I don't know how exactly their zero-day components work, but so far it's been doing fine. You saw how it did in the prevention test, and you saw the detection rate of those files that it blocked. So, it's a pretty decent program. Now, yeah, this program still has some vulnerabilities. If you set it to the default settings, it's going to fail still, against a lot of zero-day threats. But if you set it the way you have set it, I think it's going to give you a pretty good level of protection. Let's take a look at the memory usage of this application. Now, why I'm not really bothered about memory usage from McAfee, really, it does slow down the system quite a bit. But the good thing about it is that it's stable. It's not like it's going to crash or anything. Sometimes you may click on it and it may not respond, but it's not going to just crash and close up or anything like that. If it's going to be slow to respond, it's going to be slow, but it's not going to crash. So it's pretty stable on the system, loads up just fine, so I don't really have too many complaints about that. The major complaint is the high memory usage and poor system performance. Now, I think you guys saw a lot about the security. I tried all the links from CleanMX. They're all 0-day, just today. They were all released, and you saw how well McAfee did. So yeah, that's about it. Just a follow-up video. I'm not going to do another file scan. Really, I did the complete test in the last video, so I'm not really concerned about that. So yeah, I think we all should be looking forward to the final release of this version. I think they're going to do a lot better this time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hope it wasn't too boring, because I think it's quite long. So anyway, have a good day and goodbye.